Guys,
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
such beautiful
What,
music.
what you doing?
Such beautiful
What
music.
you doing? Hey, you can't do that.
What?
You can't do that. You cannot introduce the segment. You can't do that.
Shut up.
I can, and you can do it. Go ahead, Jeremy. What were you gonna say?
I said such beautiful music.
Oh yeah, that was Vampire Weekend. Step Modern Cities of the Vampire. Modern Vampires of the City. Sorry.
Shut
Great
up.
album. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with this segment, our entertainment segment, we're going to be condensing it, the majority of the content, because we have a big story to talk about at the end.
Major story.
Major story. Sorry about
Controversial
that. Major
story.
Controversial.
Yes.
It's going to be a crazy debate. So stay tuned. But
find
first, we want to talk about Vin Diesel naming his daughter after the late, great Paul Walker. The other day, he announced that his daughter's name would be Pauline. Diesel.
And he said that he felt Paul Walker's presence the most in the room when his daughter was born, and that's all he felt. And that's all that was on his mind. I mean, I'm surprised over his own wife, but you know, that's beside the point. Yeah. I commend him for showing a tribute to a friend.
I wish I had a friend like that.
It makes
like Paul Walker.
I'm not gonna lie.
No, like
yeah,
because
yes,
of
like
that
like Vin
itself,
Diesel.
that itself shows like even their relationship in the movie is like real. It feels so real.
These guys were like brothers, man.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that these two actors outside set would have such a great relationship, just like in the movie.
Honestly, it's really beautiful, and big ups to Vin Diesel. God bless your kid, and God bless Paul Walker up there.
Yeah.
But in other news, we also have a settlement in the Blurred Lines, Marvin Gaye versus Robin Thicke Pharrell and everybody else. If you guys didn't know, Blurred Lines actually had a sample of Marvin Gaye's "Got to Give It Up," and Marvin Gaye's family found out about it and decided to sue because the Gaye was not Gaye did not get the proper did not get the proper sampling credits. And recently, the case has actually been settled by Sony, and recently they actually tried to get T.I. to get involved in this because he felt he actually wasn't charged. So they're actually trying to get T.I. to pay for the sample as well. And T.I. he said he doesn't know anything about it. He's not gonna get involved. But it seems to me like the case is settled. I don't know what the settlement is exactly, but nonetheless,
I believe they have to compensate.
They have to compensate.
Yeah,
that's usually what you do. You don't say it when you don't clear a sample.
Yeah.
From what I hear, it's not that they use a sample. It's that the song sounds very similar, so they want to be credited because has very similar structure. But then again, my problem with this case, I'm more for people getting their proper dues. But just because a song sounds vaguely similar or has a vaguely similar composition does not mean that you stole from the song, that you're plagiarizing, because a lot of songs have similar composition. I mean, there was a famous Australian performance, I forgot who performed, where they performed like over 20 songs, like a couple dozen songs using the same 4 chords.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I remember I watched in a sociology class using the same 4 chords.
Too, Matthew.
Okay, everybody watching in sociology class. My goodness, we feel so left out. Okay. Anyways, so that everybody gonna sue each other. Like there should be a certain level of creative dissidence when it comes to creating your own songs, rather than oh, this song sounds somewhat similar to mine. Majority of songs in modern day have used the same bass line as Billie Jean, but you don't see the Jackson family suing everybody.
See, that's the thing.
So you can't.
I have strong reason to believe Marvin Gaye would not sue these gentlemen at all for that because he understands song structure.
Pharrell said in an interview that out of 23 notes, only 3 notes was copy.
See, there you go.
And like really.
Man, that's the case. Then in the future, you never know what could happen with music. Anybody could be sued for anything at this point.
Pretty much.
Just for one note.
Very vague to me. Very vague.
But
now, so good luck to those parties involved. Keep music alive. But the funny thing is, now we have to keep Kanye alive because I don't know if you guys know about this, but recently the infamous Anonymous has targeted Kanye West.
I've heard some people say it's a fake. It's a fake video, but. Going based off of what I've seen, I like to respond to the actual video I've seen where people who claim to be anonymous have targeted Kanye West in a video, basically saying what all the other Kanye haters say.
Yeah.
You have a wife that shows her body for media attention. Yeah, you're going against your own ideals. You're being a little kid. You're reprehensible to society. You're not bettering society. And that's what Anonymous stands for. And so, last time I seen the video, it's gotten 20 million views on Facebook.
On Facebook, I saw last night it got like 1 million something on YouTube.
Yeah, on Facebook it got like 20 something million, and majority of the comments was like, "Oh my God, yes, finally, yeah, screw Kanye West." All this other stuff. Me personally, like taking Kanye West fandom aside, being a general supporter of some of what Anonymous stands for, I completely go against what they did with this video, if it is in fact them, because it's supposed to be a hacktivist group that stands up for those who don't have a voice. Because their slogan is, besides expect us and we are anonymous, is until you wake up, we'll fight for you. And when you have so many things in the world going wrong, you're fighting against Kanye West, and that's some people's critiques. It's like, there's a lot of injustice in the world, and you're going against Kanye West. Is Kanye West really like detrimental to society? Because I basically see the Kanye West hate as a firestorm or a bandwagon of public collectivism, in which everybody sees this as a trend. So everybody psychologically sees, everybody hates Kanye West, so he must be like, he must be a douchebag. So I hate him too, and then that's where it comes out to. And Anonymous is using a lot of cherry picking with their points. They were also contradicting themselves a few times. Like they would splice certain moments, certain things that Kanye said, like from the swear interview, like, oh, it's gonna be the DJ family, it's gonna let me create more. And then they're gonna splice like old interviews about how he wanted to be this, and that, and always wanted to have a voice, and always wanted to stand up and be a big musical Mongol. And that's exactly what he's become. But you're not talking about the other interviews where he's talking about how he's friends with Beck now, or he's friends with Taylor Swift now, and that he regrets certain things he's done, but he's trying to do it better, make it right for the people. And you're just making your own negative connotation and taking information away from the people and just making your own narrative. And because people will believe it, and that's not what Anonymous should be. Because anything, Anonymous is going against what they're saying Kanye West, accusing Kanye West of, which is just looking for attention.
I personally believe a lot of the points on there were just really radical, such as like they don't really believe they just see Kanye West as this egotistical maniac, rather than seeing a human being that lost his mother. And they made a lot of references. They made a lot of cold references to his mother, and I really felt that was very disrespectful. Like they were condescending remarks, like not so much going against her, but that's to say that about a man's mother that has died. I personally felt that was the most disrespectful part of the video. I actually the first time I saw it, I turned it off because of that, because I felt that was very ignorant. And another thing I want to touch up on is that like Matthew said, they don't show the interviews where he's actually talking about how he wants to help people and what, like, the positives in his career, like what he's trying to do. They don't have any interviews of him over this past year, which he has done nothing but state positivity. Instead, they use the interviews from the Yeezus era, which I will admit Kanye was off the rocker at the time, but they won't even show the positive things he's talking about, and that to me is a bias. And another thing is, they don't understand that Kanye, they don't understand that Kanye is like a human being like everybody else. Like, this is a man that, they're destroying his name and everything like that. They don't understand that he's actually a human being, and they make it like he's one, like they said one man can change the world. Yes, one man can change the world, but you don't go after Drake. There's other artists that don't attack like problems. They're talking about Kanye and single him out. Like, why aren't you singling other artists out? Like, no one man can change the world. Like, you have to understand that. Like, Kanye never signed up to be a savior. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with some points that you guys brought up, but here's the thing. From my perspective, before Yeezus, Kanye, I feel like Kanye was the best. you know, he was at his prime and everything and all. But after he dropped Yeezus, it's just like he just has like he has an alter ego now, and like it's hard to see who is Kanye and who is Yeezus, you know, and like I really don't, it's hard. Like I really don't think he's this bad of a person. I feel like it's just that's the media, but then sometimes it could look too convincing, you know. So I really don't know.
But what do you mean by that?
Well,
what do you mean by too convincing?
You know, like what they like, some of the videos, the footage they shows and stuff, like him acting like a acting like a maniac and all that, like it makes him look bad. But then sometimes it looks convincing, like oh, he's really that person, because there's other things that he's done, especially like the thing that he did on the Grammys, about what he said about
Like back, right?
Yes.
What he said about what?
Yes. It's like kind of goes with it, and then in your mind you think about he's just this egotistical maniac and stuff, so I don't know, that's just how I see it, and like it's just you don't know who to believe, one side says that he's this and that, and the other side says this is and that. I just stand in the middle, but from what I see, I lean more towards on the side where he's this egotistical maniac, but I do see, but I do understand where you guys are coming from.
Because none of us really know the man,
well,
and for them to like come at him like that is just like it's really just immature in my opinion. Like the whole point of that video was immature.
Well. I'm gonna touch upon this this final point, going saying certain things, like addressing certain points. Kanye has since said that explained that that whole era where he was going through the whole phase of rebellion and everything, that was kind of his retaliation against music, that he was frustrated. And I can understand, I'm not in his shoes, but I can somehow empathize with the man, or try to put myself in his shoes of being in that position and having the media constantly crucify you and feel like you're locked out of doing anything outside of rap music, and that people don't appreciate what you do. And sometimes you lash out. We're all human. If we're under pressure, we're gonna be that way. But we have to realize. I think that's what modern society fails to realize as a collective, but realize on an individual level, is that you're not defined by one action. That's people are dynamic. We're dynamic as human beings. We change over time, and things like that. The same way how you say that Kanye was Kanye, and then he changed to that. Not like once you're negative, you can't go back from being negative. Like we all have times where we go on a downward hill. So we can't be like, oh, this person's positive, now they're negative, so they're always going to be negative. Kanye has since said that he's worked on his ways better. He's a lot nicer to fans now. He's a lot nicer to paparazzi now, and he seems a lot happier of a person. Despite the Beck thing, which was like one lash out and everything, he's a really happy person. He even reached out to Beck and everything. And I feel like people saying that Kanye's a douchebag and everything like that is going based off of false connotations.
It's like
not
like
necessarily completely false connotations, but connotations that aren't all the way informed.
No, because like I said, like Matt said, like this is a man that went through things, and we don't all handle things the same. Like people handle things more radical than the next. At the end of the day, you can't judge a person based on how they handle things. Like the whole post 808s Kanye is a result of what happened in his life. And yes, like the whole people like to crucify him for the paparazzi thing, but like you have to understand that these people came to his house at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like that, I think that's like overstepping your boundaries and expected. And then on the comments, people are saying, "Oh, he's a bad guy." Like, yes, I mean, put yourself in Kanye's shoes. Do you want to be woken? You want to be waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning with a camera in your face? I don't. I surely don't. So I think that once again, it's all about the person. Like, let's just like forget all that. Let's focus on this man, Kanye West, and the man that delivers great music. And like Matt said, yes, he was lashing out against the music because he was marginalized. Quote, yes, as a quote by Kanye. He was marginalized. He couldn't do the things that he wanted to do. He couldn't make his own clothing. And I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to overstep the boundary and become one of the greatest artists of all time. And for somebody to tell you can't do that, of course you're gonna lash out in such a way. So that's my piece on that.
OD.
So we'll be back with our music segment. I hope that was not too deep for you guys, but that was Kanye versus Anon. Stay tuned, Trifecta Live on WICR.